Sound good? We good on sound?
We sound great. We always sound great. I mean, you come through with the nice, undertones of Cameroon. I come through with the raspy, squeaky Oklahoma. It works. It works. One of my favorite comments on this on my channel, and I'm being facetious here for those of y'all that really think that I'm being serious, is I did not expect that voice to come out of that face, and I'm going, yeah, man, it's that easy to get blocked. Like we can do that. I'm not gonna put up. That's the thing. Like the folks that get into the comments on your stuff and think they can tell you off like it's just gonna live there.
Yeah.
Like, nah, man, I don't need this from you. I don't. That's not why we do this. If you want to have a discussion about what we're talking about, by all means. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I become the subject of the video lickety split for somebody all the time.
People are crazy, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are crazy. I mean, anyway, we can rant about this. All, you know, some of the comments or things that people don't understand, and their lack of understanding or their confusion turns into anger towards you. That's a you problem, sir, not me.
Oh man. And then the whole game of getting a video up, and that yes. All right. So I want to talk to you about Texas. I want to talk to you about football at large. But first, I'm gonna do something I don't normally do. How do you feel about your man's Chris Beard and your man's Shaka Smart, getting up out of here to go to Marquette?
So with Chris Beard, I am I by the way, check out my videos
Please,
on Chris
please,
Beard
please.
situation, fanatic perspective. I've had a couple different videos out there. One when Shaka Smart left, then I kind of broke down who the candidates would be, and then when Chris Beard came on board. So with Chris Beard, it's interesting because so many people in this fan base have been, lusting after him for years, right? Like, especially after the run in 2019, Texas Tech goes to the national championship game, losing overtime to Virginia. And then meanwhile, Texas is either not making the tournament, we're on the bubble. We've got all these NBA guys that Shaka was doing a brilliant job recruiting, but we're not getting it done in March. And so people are looking at the Texas X and they're like, hey, that's the guy we need to go get. So a lot of listening. But when you break down basketball and I'm a basketball head, Chris Beard is a very good basketball coach, but he's not a basketball god or someone who is like a Coach K or something of that sort. At least not yet. I'll be fair. I mean, we're in the same conference. Last I checked, where Scott Drew just won a national championship.
Man,
With the Baylor
don't
Bears.
don't even get me started. I can't. There's only one Baylor fan I actually like. Shout out to Shehan J and Raja. The rest of y'all kick rocks. I can't stand y'all, man. Like, and the way that they're talking about that team, all right. I don't want to get you too far off topic. My bad.
Nah, you're good. You're good. But when you look at
Long live Texas Western. My bad. Sorry.
oh man, Glory Road for those of you who don't know. But with Chris Beard being on board, I think Texas is in a good situation. You have a coach that understands the conference, that has the skins on the wall from the tournament standpoint that Texas is looking for, that they're familiar with. And, he's saying all the right things, like the press conference killed it. The staff hires thus far, bringing back some of the OGs from the original Rick Barnes staff that got guys like TJ Ford and LaMarcus Aldridge and DJ Augustine, that whole crew, because Rick Barnes was, people are going to ask me about Kevin Durant, but Rick Barnes recruited Kevin Durant personally. But that whole crew, like that's dope. But at the same token, I still think he could potentially have a lot of the same issues that Shaka Smart had here in terms of adapting a very aggressive, defensive mannered team first culture with superstar players. And that's hard. That's the business that college basketball really struggles in. And that's like a big contrast between college basketball and college football, right? Is the star buy-in of what I'm being asked to do and that level of responsibility to me getting to the league versus what's best for the team. Because Chris Beard, and I've said this on my videos, when he had some of those more talented people that came on board to Texas Tech after the run, they were a 500 team in the Big 12. That's just facts. Now I think he's a better fit for the Texas culture, if that makes any sense. And I also think Shaka Smart is going to kill it at Marquette because of that Big East vibe that they're in. So I think it was a move that was just beneficial for almost everyone involved.
No, I'll buy that. And, Texas lusting after other people's stuff is nothing new. That's not shade. That's just what it is. Like, when Lincoln Riley was the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, Texas fans was like, yo, hey, what are we doing? Hey, cut the check, get him up out of there. And Bob did right by literally everyone and saying, nah, this is the guy. But I actually did want to talk to you a bit about Big 12 coaches, but not necessarily, in the basketball sphere, though.
Sure.
The hat tip to you and Texas, and I understand, Chris Beard is a big deal. Who wants the University of Kansas football job? Like, not who can they get, who wants it?
Who wants it? Right. I mean, at this point, and I've said this, I've made this analogy before. If you're Kansas, you have to look at your situation as a startup. You got to go and look at this as like, look, what are the positives of Kansas football? Because there's not many. We're in the Big 12. We're in a Power 5 conference. We weren't terrible back in the Fighting Mangino days. I mean, they went to an Orange Bowl, right? And people have shown that they can do some things at Kansas given the proper situation. You do have, if people can win at Iowa State and other schools like that are up in that region, Kansas can have something. But I think you have to kind of have somebody come in with a different vision and approach of how they're going to, from recruiting on down. Because the Les Miles thing, I mean, granted, the whole that whole culture issue and sexual assault and all that craziness going on at LSU, that Kansas had to make that move, and I get that, but where were they even headed with him? Where were they going? They were still on the same path of horribleness. That's not a word, but like, they were just terrible. And so I think they have to take it from a startup approach, and somebody that's young or crazy or something that's just different. They got to be different. I'm talking about like craziness, like Georgia Tech when they decided to go the triple option, the ACC type different. Just do something completely different than everybody else is doing. That's the only thing I can think of for Kansas without putting any thought into it. RJ.
They are trotting out Jeff Monken as a dude that might first. They got to get an AD, is what I keep telling everybody. Like, and the AD is gonna, like, what I love most is that Jeff Long thought he was gonna outlive Les Miles after that firing. I'm like, nah, dog. I read the statement. You just said football is more important than these women. Nope. You can't stay. You made football the most important part of firing Les Miles at the time. That ain't gonna fly. Not today. Not in 2021. But I'm also looking at that going, you had a chance. Les Miles had a chance. You had Brent Dearman on staff, right? And that was a dude that had led the entire country, regardless of division, in points per game and total yardage per game, and was damn good at Bethel, right? Somehow that dude ends up at Middle Tennessee, for which I still haven't got a great explanation as to why. But outside of that, because I've trotted him out as a guy that they should make a phone call to, I look around and I think perhaps you want to go get the dude that knows how to recruit. And if he can recruit, perhaps he can put together a staff and you can strike lightning, right? Because when was the last time Kansas was good? When was the only time Kansas was good? Mark Mangino is your head coach. That's got his own set of problems, but they won an Orange Bowl. Like, Kansas football at one point in our lifetime was ranked number 3 in the country.
It's not that long ago.
2007.
It was like 13. Yeah, so 14 years ago. That's not that long ago where they were really good.
Right. So I'm looking at Kansas and I'm going, what dude is doing the most over there on Iowa State's staff? Right? I'm looking at Stafford in that way. I'm looking at Jim Leonhard going, how much does it take at Wisconsin? You know, do we have enough of this coin to offer you? We know that we are Kansas. You know that we are Kansas, but we are coming hat in hand going, yo, let's have a conversation about this. Or maybe like Brian Brown at Louisville. Remember him?
Can we pause at Jim? So you mean Brian Brom, like from the Brom family?
No. Brian Brown is Brien at he's defensive coordinator at Louisville, black defense coordinator.
Oh, okay. I wanted to pause at Jim Leonhard. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool.
Because if you're here's the flip side of this though, and I think this is why it's so dangerous. Like Jim Leonhard, rockstar DC, everybody knows he's got next, whatever he wants to do, and he's already, I'm sure he's already been offered stuff in the past. But I understand money being a factor, but if I'm his agent or if I'm just I have investment in Jim Leonhard, like, why would this be the first job you take? Like, I don't want you to end up like some of these other coaches who end up in a horrible position. And now it's, I get, having that patience to want to rebuild, and at Kansas, you'll have that room, I think. But at the same token, it's not like going and getting like a Florida State job.